Namaskar, good evening, welcome. Welcome to the fourth day of our Earth Science Week. Today, we celebrate it as National Fossil Day, which takes place annually on Wednesday on the second full week in October. It is a global observance dedicated to the fascinating remnants of Earth's prehistoric past. On this day, enthusiasts, scientists, and educators come together to celebrate the rich history and invaluable insights that fossils provide. Today, we'll appreciate the hidden stories of ancient life forms, the ever evolving planet, and the wonders of paleontology through philately to encourage exploration, learning, and preservation of these natural treasures for future generations. I welcome you all for joining us to captivate the world of fossils and to discover the incredible discoveries that continue to unveil. All the sessions can also be viewed on Mission Devra YouTube channel. Today, I'm very glad to take this honor to introduce our speaker for the day, Dr. Ajit Vartak. Dr. Ajit Vartak is a renowned paleontologist with a PhD from Savitribai Phule University, Pune. He has over 3 decades of teaching experience at Naurozji Wadia College and holds a master's degree in Indology, the study of Indian history, culture, and philosophy. Because of his father, he pursued philately as a hobby and began to use philately as a teaching device for earth sciences. He is also a Limca Book of Records holder for personal collection of fossils. He has several national and international publications on this topic. In this connection, he has also traveled to Nepal, Thailand, Cambodia, Luxembourg, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Mauritius to participate in different conferences in earth science and Indology. Sir has given us presentations and published 7 research papers in national and 6 research papers in the international journals and has published more than 100 popular articles and has arranged exhibitions on fossils and philately. He is associated with several academic societies. He is working as secretary for Maharashtra Vriksha Samvardhini, a renowned NGO in Pune for last 20 years. He was honored by the Pune Municipal Corporation and the International Collectors Society of Rare Items for his contributions. With a wealth of knowledge and passion for that subject, which is truly infectious, Sir has made a positive impact in the relevance of philately in earth sciences and its significance in paleontology. I request Sir to take over the lecture now. Thank you, Sir.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'll be speaking on fossils, natural heritage, and philately. I hope this presentation will encourage our earth scientists to get idea about the postage stamps as well as their importance in education also. With this short introduction, I will start my presentation. Today, I'll be speaking on fossils, natural heritage, and philately. I hope my presentation will help the scientists to know more about stamps and their great educational value. So what is heritage? Heritage is our legacy from the past, what we live with today, and what we pass on our future generations. According to UNESCO, heritage is of 2 types. First, that is cultural, which includes paintings, coins, sculptures, monuments, archaeological sites, underwater ruins and cities, oral traditions, performing arts, etc. And the other one, that is natural heritage, will include biological, which includes flora as well as fauna, and geological, which will include landscapes, minerals, rocks, and fossils. All of you know that the word meaning of what is the word meaning of fossil. In Latin, fossils are anything obtained by digging, but currently include anything of having some sort of life. Then only we can call it as fossil. Now, fossils are the remains or traces of plants or animals of the distant past. They may vary in size from microscopic, like microorganisms, what we see under example is foraminifera, ostracods or conodonts, to gigantic, like huge dinosaur skeletons or petrified woodlogs, and can weigh many tons also. Now, why we should conserve fossils? There are many reasons, but some of the important reasons are, the first one, that is about science. They are very important from scientific point, because scientific studies like evidence of past life or evidence of organic evolution or evidence of mass extinction, we can study with the help of fossils. Number two, that is natural heritage. Fossils are part of natural heritage, and that is why many important fossil sites are included in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Next is education point, that is fossils are the raw material through which we can teach biological as well as ecological principles to schools, colleges, and university students. Now, this can be done in the classroom as well as in the field also. Next is recreation. Many people enjoy looking at fossils. They can devote recreational time by visiting different interpretation centers or museums or fossil sites. In India, we have Balasinore Dinosaur Museum, where we have huge dinosaur statues. Similarly, we have Dino World Theme Park in Hyderabad also. Next point is economic. Educational or recreational groups are attracted to all these centers for like interpretation centers or museums or fossil sites. This can generate revenue for the locals also. Similarly, they can, as I had mentioned, that they can be important as far as ecological principles are concerned, and they are very important from the point of cultural point also. What is philately? First we'll see. All of you know that this word is derived from two Latin words, that is philos means love and atelia means prepaid. So philately is actually a hobby of collecting and studying stamps. If you are just collecting the stamps, we generally consider him as a stamp collector. But if you collect as well as study the stamps, then only we can call him as philatelist. Now, this idea about stamps was first generated by Rowland Hill, an English schoolmaster, which has suggested the idea of postage stamp in 1837. The first stamp, the well-known penny black, was issued by the United Kingdom in 1840. We can see here the photograph of Dr. Sir Rowland Hill. Central, we have got the stamp issued by India in 1980 on the occasion of International Stamp Exhibition. And on the right, we can see the penny black stamp, where profile of Queen Victoria is there on the black paper printed, and the price is 1 penny. One more very important thing about this stamp is that if you see the stamp, no name of the country is printed on that stamp. And this omission of the name of country is only in the case of United Kingdom only, because they were the first to issue the stamp in the world. Now, this is again the first reconstructed historic animal. It is a really great thing that our Indian Post has issued the first stamp in the world on fossils. In 1951, the Geological Survey of India celebrated its centennial. For this occasion, a commemorative stamp was issued showing the fossil elephant Stegodon Ganesha, likely a direct ancestor of modern elephant. Actually, these fossils were discovered by Professor D.N. Wadia in 1925 during his Shivalik fieldworks. Now, a very important thing is that in 1993, Jurassic Park, a science fiction action film directed by Steven Spielberg, was released. This film became the highest earning film at the time. United States issued a commemorative stamp on its success in 2000. You can see that stamp. And there are many countries, they have issued stamps on Steven Spielberg also. We can see on the bottom, That is a stamp issued by Guinea on the occasion of 70th birthday of or birth anniversary of Steven Spielberg. We know that there were many sequels after Jurassic Park. So this is a sheetlet issued by Kyrgyzstan in 2001 on Jurassic Park 3. Now, the important thing is that after the release of this, or after the success of Jurassic Park movie in 1993, the subject of fossils or dinosaur reached the common man all over the world. Immediately, many countries, they started presenting or issuing stamps on dinosaurs or fossils, though they don't have any dinosaur fossil occurring in that country also, but still they have issued stamps on dinosaurs or fossils. Presently, we have about 5,000 stamps on fossils, which will include plant fossils as well as animal fossils. So we have a special branch of philately, which is known as paleophilately, which deals with study of fossils on stamps. Now, the major part in the designing is illustrated of the design or painter of the particular stamp is very important, which we call him as paleo artist. And this art can be called as paleo art. So paleo art can be defined as original work that attempts to depict prehistoric life according to scientific evidence. Now, for this, the paleo artist has to do a lot of work because he will work with scientists to accurately depict anatomy as well as associated fauna and flora known from the same geological formation. So if you see some of the very important paleo artists, they have actually worked in the field during the excavation of those fossils, and therefore they can see the actual anatomy also. That time also they discuss with the geologists regarding anatomy as well as associated flora and fauna also. And later on, these paleo artists, they will visit museums also to study the original fossils. After that, they will carry out their sketch work for 4 to 5 times. Every time they will show their design to the expert, then make the changes. And finally, after final sketch, they will go for painting. And this painting can be used for printing of stamps. So that is a very long process. And then only we can get accuracy in stamps on fossils. Otherwise, many times we have errors on fossil stamps. Sometimes we have got Jurassic dinosaur is shown, but in the background, we have got Triassic flora. So that will create a wrong this thing. So that is why a paleo artist has to work with the experts as well as he has to visit the museum and show all these paintings to the experts, and then that painting will go for the printing. Zdeněk Burian, he was a very famous Czech painter, book illustrator, and paleo artist. He is regarded as one of the most influential paleo artists of all time. He worked with paleontologists like Joseph Augusta and Zdeněk Spiner to make first-hand sketches and drawings with little anatomical errors. Many fossil stamps all over the world issued around the world are based on his illustration. Google celebrated his 110th birthday by releasing Google Doodle in 2005. You can see here on the left-hand side top, Burian is doing his work of painting in an art studio. And below, we have got Czechoslovakia, his own country, issued a set of 3 stamps on works of art on postage stamps in 2005. One of the stamps, that is the in-between central stamp, shows the painting of Dinotherium created by Burian. You can see this stamp. So this is the original painting by Burian, and this is the stamp issued by Czechoslovakia in 2005. So that is why we get more and more accuracy in the postage stamps on fossils. James Gurney, American author, artist, anthropologist, and the illustrator of best-selling Dinotopia books. He has designed many stamps. Few of them are The World of Dinosaurs, issued by United States in 1997 and Australia's Age of Dinosaur in 2013. You can see sitting in his art studio. These are the stamps issued by United States in 1997. Their title or the theme was The World of Dinosaur. On the top, we have a panoramic scene from 150 millionaires scene from Colorado, that is of Jurassic time. And bottom, we have a scene from Montana about 75 million years ago, that is during Cretaceous time. So when they draw all these paintings, they have to take into consideration the flora as well as fauna which are associated with these dinosaurs. And another one, that is a set issued by Australia in 2013. Here you can see that we have 6 prehistoric animals during Cretaceous time, which are depicted on these covers. Now, next part is about exotic stamps. Now, exotic stamps means unusual stamps. Actually, these stamps, they are issued by different countries to attract more and more number of philatelists, so they can go for those buying stamps. Now, these exotic stamps may be, for example, all of you know that generally a stamp is having rectangular or square shape. Secondly, it is printed on paper. But these exotic or unusual stamps can be printed on, instead of paper, they can use different types of cloths, which may be khadi cloth, it may be silk also. Sometimes they will use different material like wood or ceramic, or sometimes they can use foils of copper or silver, as well as sometimes they can use gold foils also. Now, due to modern technology, nowadays, many countries are using different techniques like 3D stamps, or sometimes the stamps, they glow under ultraviolet light also. Now, this is a stamp. These are the stamps issued by Guyana, a South American country, in 1994. You can see on the left-hand side, we have got a sheet where dinosaurs are printed on gold foil. And on the left-hand side or right-hand side, we have on silver foil. So that is why people all over the world, they are interested to buy this. And many times these countries, they issue these stamps or on very small number. Now, this is again a very interesting set of stamps issued by South Africa in 2009. They were 3D stamps. South African Post combined prehistory with modern technology to create this 3D effect. Special glasses were also provided along with these stamps. You can see the special glasses below. 5 of the stamps depict skeletons of 5 dinosaurs and other 5 images, how these creatures probably look like. So basically all these dinosaurs, they are discovered from South Africa only. So this is the first set of stamps showing 3D effect. So modern technology was used in printing of these stamps. So on the right-hand side, you can see how they will look after using these specs. Another set, very interesting set, issued by China in 2017, which glow in dark. Now, these stamps were printed with special ink and use fluorescent technology. So one can see the dinosaur bones under UV light. Now, these stamps, they glow in dark under ultraviolet light. So you can see these 2 stamps, the first natural position, and on the right-hand side, you can see when it glows under UV light, you can see the skeleton or the bone part also. Now, this is again a very interesting set of stamps issued by Australia in 2020. That is, they are showing you opalized fossils. Now, all of you know that opal is the Australian national gemstone, and opalized fossils are Australian national treasures. Australia is one of the few places on the earth that produces good quality of opalized fossils. So on the stamp, you can see the 2 things now. Now you can see here on the stamp, we have a photograph of each fossil as well as the plant or creature in its living form. So you can see here, this is a fossil and this is a plant in living form. Similarly, this is a fossil. This is the animal or dinosaur in living form. Same way, this is a petrified wood, and we have got plant in living form. Similarly, this is a moon snail. You can see fossil as well as the living form also. So very interesting information was given on the stamps. So a small piece of paper can give you a lot of information, and that is why we also call them as a little ambassador of a country, because when these stamps, they will go abroad, they will tell everywhere, all over the world, that this is a specialty or this is a natural heritage of Australia. When the new stamp is issued, postal department, they come out with first day cover. But along with first day cover, many times they come out with special medallion covers also. But this again will be in very small quantity. So this is a special medallion cover issued by Australian Post, where you can see the Australian opal is also inserted at the center. Now, if you open this medallion, you can see on the reverse side, all these four fossils, outlines of these four fossils are there. So you can see here moon snail, here you can see wood, theropod tooth, and pine cone. So all the four fossils, you get outlines there. Now we'll see what is paleontology. Now all of you know this, so I won't go into detail because paleo means ancient, onto means life, and logy means study or science. So there are many branches of paleontology. Only we'll see how postal stamps can be used to explain about different branches of paleontology. Now this here you can see dealing with micropaleontology. We can see on the left-hand side, top, we have got foraminifera. Below also we have got foraminifera. Then these are conodonts and these are radiolarians. So microorganisms or microfossils, they are shown on postage stamps. Now this is dealing with megapaleontology, that is all big size fossils. So naturally we'll have amphibians, reptiles, mollusks, as well as fish. So all they can be seen on these stamps. Ichnology, that is study of trace fossil, all of you know. So actually fossils, we have actually two parts. That is one we call as body fossils and other is trace fossils. Now in trace fossil, no body part is preserved. Only the activity of the organism is preserved, and therefore they will give idea regarding the behavior of the organism. So you can see here the stamp issued by African country, that is Lesotho, where you have got 3 dinosaur footprints are depicted on these 3 stamps. Invertebrate paleontology. So this is a branch which is dealing with all invertebrates. So you can see here, we have got brachiopods, we have got mollusks, ammonites, we have got bivalves, we have got gastropods, we have got trilobites, we have got echinoids. So all they come in invertebrates. So study of invertebrate fossils. Vertebrate paleontology, which will naturally deal with vertebrate fossils. Now this is a very interesting set, and this country is also very interesting. Actually, this Niuefaw is a small island in Pacific in between Fiji and Samoa. This country is very famous because of issuing of their stamps. Its part of economy is based on selling of stamps. We have similarly countries like our neighbor Bhutan is also very famous in the world to issue the very interesting stamps. All over the world, people, they are eager to see what new stamps Bhutan is issuing, because they always try to use some new technique, and philatelists always they buy at very high prices also. Now, if you see these 3 stamps, at the bottom, you can see a natural fossil. And on the top, we have got reconstructed organism. So actually, this is a fossil of Archaeopteryx, which is a link between reptiles and bird, and which this you can see reconstructed Archaeopteryx also. So a small piece of paper can give you a lot of information. Paleozoology. So naturally, this will deal with study of ancient animals, or So this is again a very famous set issued by United States in 1997. Jurassic dinosaurs in Colorado, 150 million back. Paleobotany, this will deal with study of plant fossils. You can see here stromatolite, here leaf impression, and here you have got petrified wood. Paleopalynology. Now this branch will deal with study of fossil pollen grains. And again, pollen grains also, they play a very important role as far as geology is concerned, as well as archaeology is also concerned. And I think this is the only stamp probably on fossil pollen grains issued by any country. This was issued by Sri Lanka. Now we'll go through shortly history of paleontology. Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, was one of the first to classify living things, either plants or animals. So he divided all the living things into plants or animals. Agricola, he was a German scholar and scientist, was a town physician, and actually he is considered as father of mineralogy. But he coined the term fossil to include all objects which could be dug up. As the science of paleontology matured, the term fossil strictly refers to remains of biological entities only. Leeuwenhoek of Netherlands used a simple microscope with excellent lenses that he manufactured. He was the first to observe bacteria in 1676 using his self-designed microscope. So after his work, it was possible to study microfossils also. Nicholas Steno, he was a Danish geologist who established one of the basic principles of stratigraphy, all of you know, that is principle of order of superposition. He discovered parotid duct as well as recognized the muscular nature of art also. Now you can see here a stamp where you can see Steno with a skeleton of shark. Now this is a very interesting stamp issued by again Denmark. Now if you see the stamp below at the bottom, it is written year is 1669. Now in 1669, Steno published a book where he has compiled everything what he has done work on geology or stratigraphy, as well as crystallography, as well as paleontology also. There, he concluded that he compared actually the teeth of shark head, with certain stony objects, that is fossil teeth, and he noted striking resemblance. And this was published in this 1669 book. So here you can see a fossil teeth as well as recently dissected shark teeth, where this was compared by Steno actually in 1667. That paper also was published in 67. But later on, he compiled everything about his work, which was published in form of a book in 1669. Carl Linnaeus, all of you know, of Sweden, had a medical education, receiving his doctorate in the Netherlands. He proposed binomial classification, that all of you know that every living thing has, if you see scientific name, it has got two parts. The first part will give you an idea about the generic name, and the second part will give you an idea about the specific name. Then James Hutton, a Scottish geologist, physician, naturalist, and chemist, he is considered as father of modern geology. He proposed the very important principle of uniformitarianism, that is, present holds key to the past. So you can see here two stamps issued by Mozambique, and actually one postcard is there. You can see this one. On this postcard, his photograph is also there. William Smith, a British geologist, author of first geological map of Great Britain, is regarded as father of English geology. and he proposed the principle of faunal succession, which is a very part. So we know that we have got three basic principles, that is order of superposition. Then secondly, given by Hutton, and this is the third, that is about faunal succession by William Smith. Mary Anning, a British fossil collector and paleontologist, discovered the first ichthyosaur skeleton, first tooth plesiosaur skeleton ever found, and first pterosaur skeleton outside Germany, belemnite fossils with ink sacs and coprolites also, two fossil fish and an ostracod species, one reptile and one bivalve genera are named after her. She, I think, is regarded as the first fossil collector and who provided very important fossils to scientists. Her name was included in a list of 10 British women who have most influenced the history of science. You can see these are the stamps where she is shown along with her fossils which she discovered. D'Orbigny, French naturalist, father of micropaleontology. He was working at Paris Museum and he studied Chevalier's collection from Pondicherry. Actually, Orbigny traveled in South America between 1826 to 1833 and visited many countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Bolivia, Brazil, etc. The first geological map of Bolivia was prepared by him. He was the first to report fossils from Bolivia. On the occasion of his birth bicentenary, Bolivia issued these three stamps. So we can see a very important paper is on South Indian Cretaceous deposits by D'Orbigny. Charles Darwin, English naturalist and father of the theory of evolution. 2009 was his birth bicentenary as well as 150 years for his book Origin of Species. So many countries all over the world have issued many stamps on Darwin. Edward Forbes, British naturalist, born on Isle of Man. He got degree in medicine. He left the field to devote himself to natural history. He did extensive work on mollusks and sea stars. He was a major figure in establishing the field of oceanography, biogeography, as well as paleoecology. He published a paper on Cretaceous fossils of Pondicherry in 1846. F. Stolizga, Czech geologist, paleontologist, and zoologist. He studied at Vienna under the guidance of Professor Suess. All of you know the Suess who coined the term Gondwanaland. Under the guidance of Professor Suess, he joined GSI as first appointed paleontologist in 1862 and carried out an exhaustive study of the entire fossil fauna from South Indian Cretaceous deposit. He died in 1874 at Murgi in Ladakh during his third expedition through Himalayas. Actually, Stolizga was assigned the job of documenting the Cretaceous fossils of South India along with W.T. Blandford. His voluminous work is published in Paleontologia Indica. You can see a stamp, and this is a tomb at Leh. Dr. D.N. Wadia, born in Surat, Gujarat, and educated in Baroda, joined MG College, Jammu, Kashmir, then GSI, led the Foundation for Geological Investigations in India. He was awarded Padma Bhushan in 1958, published The Geology of India in 1919, and the first soil map of India also. The Institute of Himalayan Geology was renamed as Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology after him. Now, I think this is the only stamp, Indian stamp, issued on earth scientists or geologists. No other stamp issued by India on earth scientists or geologists. Now, what are the applications of paleontology? So why we should you study paleontology? Again, this is a very interesting set of stamps issued by Newfoundland. As I told you that Newfoundland is a very small island in Pacific. They always try to come out with very interesting theme on their set of stamps. For example, now presently we are seeing in the newspaper, Nobel laureate names are coming, or World Cup cricket match is going. So immediately after that, they will come out with those stamps depicting those Nobel laureates as well as cricket players also. So this is a set of stamps issued by Newfoundland, where you can see from origin of Earth up to man landing on moon also. So you can see how the life evolved. First was in a sea, then it came on land and slowly started evolving. And then we can see first we got dinosaurs, then bird, then human being, and finally the man landing on moon. This is set will give you Uzbekistan. We can study or you can teach also the evolution of humans by using this set of stamps. So that is why these stamps play a very important role as far as educational part is concerned. Alfred Wegener, German geologist and Arctic explorer, advanced the theory of continental drift. We can see here 3 stamps are there. The supercontinent Pangaea supposedly broke up into our present continents, which then drifted apart as shown in the middle stamp. So you can see the central stamp where you can see all the continents in present position. Study of plant fossils. All of you know that plants are distributed, or their distribution is controlled by climatic condition. So if you go to extreme cold climate, we have got different flora. If you go to desert, we have got different flora. Similarly, in the past also has happened. So when you study the plant fossil, they will give you idea about the climatic conditions during past, that is paleoclimate. Exploration of fuel, again, very important part presently. You can see here a micropaleontologist studying the microfossils under binocular microscope. He will identify the fossils and then he will interpret petrol oil is there or whatever may there. So he can do the work in the lab. And you can see this is a stamp issued by Zimbabwe on coal. And these 2 stamps, they are dealing with oil industry. So oil and coal, they play a very important role as far as fuels are concerned. Geopark. Now, all of you know, everyone knows about biodiversity park, but I think at least in India, this concept of geopark, practically very few people will know. A geopark aims to protect geodiversity, which may be in form of rocks or minerals or landforms or fossils. Now, this is done to promote geological heritage to the general public and also to support sustainable economic development of geopark territories, primarily through the development of geological tourism. So once the tourism is started, responsible tourism, naturally, the local peoples, they will get started getting revenue, as well as experts or guides, they will also start getting revenue from that activity. Paleopark is a part of Geopark which aims to protect fossil heritage. Presently, we have 195 UNESCO geoparks in 48 countries. But unfortunately, in India, we don't have a single UNESCO geopark. Now, these are the stamps or set of stamps issued by first in 2014 by Hong Kong and another one by Portugal in 2017. So by these stamps also, this message will go all over the world, and people or geologists all over the world, they will get attracted or they will get the information. So that is why stamps, they can play a very important role. Fossil sites. Old Way Gorge in Tanzania. Now, this is an exceptionally rich archaeological site of human history spanning nearly 2 million years. Abundant human, animal fossils, and stone artifacts preserved in a well-dated stratigraphic sequence. Now, here you can see two stamps are there. At the bottom, we have got Mary Leakey on the stamp issued by United Kingdom to honor her birth centenary. And on the top, we have got a very interesting stamp issued by Tanzania in 1965. Now, Tanzania issued a stamp on Olduvai Gorge in 1965. Now, this stamp shows images of 5 persons, major prominent 5 persons. For example, here you can see, which will include images of Mary and Louis Leakey, very famous, world famous anthropologists as well as paleontologists. Then Dr. and Mrs. Melville of National Geographic Society, and the another person who was very much responsible for all these discoveries, that is great fossil finder Hesselen Mukiri. So you can see 5 people here, that is Leakey, husband and wife, as well as Melville, husband and wife, and Hesselen Mukiri, who is very much regarded or all over the world as fossil finder. At the retirement of Hesselen Mukiri from his work, he was awarded a diploma and $1,000 by the National Geographic Society, because he was very much keen or expert to look for fossils as well as to excavate them scientifically and to preserve or conserve them properly. Again, Olduvai Gorge is again one of the World Heritage Site also. Now, this is again a World Heritage Site from Italy. Here you can see the place is known as Runobara Fossil Park. Here you can see that the trees are growing in Italy more than 1 million years ago. Here the trees 1.5 meters in diameter and between 5 to 10 meters in height are preserved in their life position, that is upright position. Generally, wood logs, they will fall down. So that will give the position that will be found every practically petrified wood forest. But this is a place, few places in the world where the trees are having still upright position. Museums. Again, museums are very important, all of you know, because they are doing very important work as far as education is concerned, revenue is concerned, culture is concerned. The role of museums is to collect objects and material of cultural, religious, and historical importance, preserve them, research them, and present them to the public for the purpose of education as well as enjoyment. So that is a very important part of museum. Unfortunately, in India, we have very few museums which are based on natural history or natural sciences. If you go to many European countries or if you go to United States, practically every big city have their own museum. And generally, all these museums are financially supported by private people, not by government. So that is a very important thing as far as other countries are concerned. Smithsonian Institute in the United States. This is again one of the very famous institutions or museum in the world. Now, this was founded on August 10, 1846. It is named after its funding donor, English chemist and mineralogist James Smithson. Mineral smithsonite is named after him. More than 40 million fossils are preserved in this museum. So they are available for study also. They are available for public also, some of them. But that is a major part done by all these big museums. Now you can see here 3 stamps are there on Smithsonian Institute. The first stamp was issued on the centenary of the museum. Second, on 150 years of the museum. And the third, because of its heritage site as architecture heritage site. So this, the third stamp of Smithsonian was issued. Now we'll see finally to what are the Indian stamps on paleontology. Now these are some of the stamps. These are the stamps issued by India. All of you know this is the first stamp issued by India in the world in 1951 on the occasion of centenary of Geological Survey of India. Then secondly, we have got stamp on Darwin in 1983 on the occasion of his death centenary. We can see here Darwin, and behind we have got his voyage map also. At the bottom, we have got stamp issued on birth centenary of Professor D.N. Wadia. And on the right-hand side, we have got 4 stamps on plant fossils issued on the 50th anniversary of world-famous Paleobotany Institute at Lucknow, that is Birbal Sahni Institute. So these are the only stamps as far as geology or paleontology is concerned. Now, these are the special covers issued regarding paleontology. Now, this is the famous Balasinor Fossil Park or Dinosaur Museum in Gujarat. The another one you can see here, a special cover was released on Salkhan fossils and invaluable heritage of Sonbhadra in Uttar Pradesh. Here, we have petrified fossil wood logs of about 1500 million year old, which is a very rare occurrence. So these 2 are the special covers issued in India. These are the 2 special covers, again related to Birbal Sahni Institute. Here you can see the photograph of Birbal Sahni, but this was issued on the occasion of Lucknow festival. But this was issued on the 60th anniversary of Birbal Sahni Institute, where you can see the building of Birbal Sahni Institute. Or on the cancellation, we can see here cancellations or postmark also plays very important. You can see here plant fossils are depicted on this postmark also. This is again a very interesting special cover issued by on biodiversity of Shivalik Hills of Saharanpur. Here, this central image on the top is actually the fossil of tooth stegodon embedded in a piece of rock can be seen here. So this is the only fossil in this part. Otherwise, all their flora and fauna is there. But this is the part because this is the only fossil which plays very important role as far as Shivalik fossils are concerned, that is Stegodon Ganesha. You can see here, this is a fossil teeth and actual specimen is also shown here. Now, I think Rajasthan is the only postal department in India. They have come out with a very interesting set on their heritage. They have issued about 12 special covers on their geo heritage. Out of these, 4 special covers are related with fossils. Now you can see here, these are the 4 special covers. One cover is based on stromatolite park in Bojunda. Another one, Akal Fossil Wood Park. Third, Bar Conglomerate at Pali. And the last one is again stromatolite park in Jhamar Kotra. So these are the 4 special covers issued by Rajasthan Post. And that is the only very interesting thing which they have issued in last year. So I think every state, they should come out with like this special covers on their geo heritage, due to which people in India as well as abroad, they can come to know about their geo heritage or fossil heritage. Now, if you see all these 4 special covers, the very interesting thing is that the postmarks or cancellation which they have used are again very important. Now you can see here the fossil of starfish is seen here on the first page, this thing. Below you can see tertiary fossils from Himalayas. Third, again we have got a plant fossil, and fourth is again plant fossil from Gondwana rocks. So 4 different fossils they have used as postmarks on these special covers issued by Rajasthan Postal Department. That is a very interesting thing. Now, what are the threats to our heritage? Now, in shortly that we'll see. Now, the first very major threat is quarrying. Now, commercial quarrying of fossiliferous limestone, mainly for cement industry, is done all over the world. in India at least. For example, we have Ariyalur in Tamil Nadu, secondly in Kutch in Gujarat, and Bagh in Madhya Pradesh, where millions of fossils are crushed every day. Same thing is happening everywhere in Himalayas also. So that is why he is quarrying, destroying fossils in Kashmir also. Fossil collecting. Many times, for example, whenever we go for fossil collecting, like college field trips, irresponsible fossil collecting of rare and scientifically valuable fossils should not be collected and kept in private collections. For example, in Laul and Spiti Valley, fossils are mined and sold as souvenirs. In the world market, rare fossils from Mongolia and Morocco are commonly available. On the left-hand side bottom, you can see students or people are collecting fossils along the coast. And on the right-hand side bottom, you can see in Mongolian market, many dinosaur eggs are also there for selling, which is a very rare thing. Burial, urbanization involving, for example, construction of dams, buildings, and roads can bury fossil sites. A very common example in India is Malabar Hill in Mumbai, where intertrapan fossil areas are totally covered by construction activity. The natural erosion, now this will be due to sea or river cliff, and this you cannot stop. And very famous example is, again, this is a World Heritage Site of Jurassic fossils from United Kingdom. Now, as far as India is concerned, we'll see what are the policies. In India has also come out with policies and regulations for preserving and protecting fossils and fossil sites. But in European countries, collecting and selling fossils is strictly prohibited. So that is why we should conserve our natural heritage. Whenever you go along the coast, we can see along the coast in sand, we have got many seashells are there. Many times you start collecting also, you just bring it at home and you just, after a few days, we just throw also in dustbin. But actually, they are the future fossils. And that is why we should not collect the seashells also along the coast. Just take the photographs and then you can study. Or actually, those who are studying, really studying for their research work, they can take some samples and study those seashells. Otherwise, it should be banned collecting seashells also, because they are the future fossils. Presently, in the world also, many sea beaches are totally provided for tourists. All of you know that whenever we go to Andaman, we are not supposed to bring any seashell from the coast. So conclusion, through philately, national heritage and geo-resources can be brought to the attention of common man. Fossil stamps are an effective media to educate the public about past life on our planet and its conservation. It can bring awareness and interest among amateurs. Actually, I am very much thankful to all these people. As I mentioned that my father also first he was collecting, and actually I could get started collecting. Then Professor Soni, who was ex-vice principal of Ferguson College. Then my friend Ton Ijon from Holland. Then my friend again, Michel Kogan from Germany, who is present for today's presentation. Professor Jerry Lips from United States. Again, my friends, Dr. Sanjeev Kalaswad from USA and Kaustubh Mudgal. So I am also thankful for the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone has any questions? We're open for questions now. Thank you.
I have a question. Vartakji, two things. First of all, I like the background where you had actually sitting. That fossils is actually fantastic. I really like the background behind your chair. That is one. Another thing is actually, I thought Alfred Wegener was a meteorologist, not a geologist, as you mentioned. No doubt he was a meteorologist, and he proposed the theory of continental drift, which was actually loved at that time by most of the geologists, especially the continental drift theory. Okay, so he was a meteorologist, not doubt. Later he may be called as a geologist or geophysicist or whatever you can tell, but basically by profession he was a meteorologist.
Okay, thank you.
But your talk is so brilliant. It is like an academic talk.
Thank you.
So brilliant
Thank you.
that I don't have any words to describe. I thoroughly enjoyed and learned lots. In fact,
Thank you,
so
sir.
many things, sir. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Nothing less than brilliant.
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
So there is a question in the chat box for you. It's from Mr. Pratham.
Can you read?
Yeah, the question says, what are the current Indian laws regarding fossils?
No, as I mentioned, that actually there are very few, means if you go to, as far as fossils are concerned, only very rare fossils only, which means they are not allowed to take outside. But many times you can take any fossil from India abroad also. Sometimes you have to take the permission. The only thing you have to show that you have taking those things for studying purpose or something like that. But otherwise, practically from every place in India, all of you know that from Madhya Pradesh or Gujarat, many times dinosaur eggs, practically they are taken by people to abroad and they are not available in India. So laws are there, but all of you know that the laws followers are very few. They're not followed properly in India.
Thank you, sir. खूप मस्त lecture झालं. Excellent lecture.
So there's one more question. They say ki if anyone gets the fossil, do they own the fossil?
Miss, nowadays that is a situation. Miss, if I go for excavation or in the field, and if I get that for a specimen, yes, that belongs to me only. Because still many places, means any person can go and collect the material. But nowadays, a lot of restrictions are there. If you go to South India, many cement quarries are totally restricted for the outsiders. They are not allowing. So we have to take the proper permission and then only go in the quarry and then collect the specimen. So we have to write a letter first before going to the field and then get the permission and then you can enter the quarries.
Sudha ma'am is asking about Shaligram.
Shaligram is actually, they are the ammonites, fossil ammonites, and basically actually they are from Himalayas. They are black in color and they come from Himalayas. And in Himalayas, in area known as Muktinath or Damodar Kunda, where we have got a river known as Black Gandaki. Now this Black Gandaki, when she comes down at Jomsom, and people start collecting those fossils in the form of nodules. And if you break those nodules, we can get fossils. And they are a black color. So very fine siliceous limestone is there. And that is why there are many times we have got small grains of chalcopyrite inside. So people sometimes they think that this is gold, but it is not a gold. But this small pieces of chalcopyrite are also there. And they are worshipped by many people as Shaligram. And that Gandaki river is also sometimes in Tibet, they are calling it as Shaligrami, Gandaki river. So that is a stone we are getting from that river, so Shaligram. I would like to thank Michelle from Germany, actually, because I would like to tell all the audience, because Michelle has done a great job actually creating a site known as Paleophilately, where practically everything regarding fossils and philately is available. He has scanned all the things and they are available for anyone. And he is doing a really great job. So first, I would like to thank Michelle.
Okay, thank you very much for the short introduction. And actually, congratulations with a very interesting presentation. I really enjoyed to see your slides and actually selection of the stamps is very interesting and compensative.
Thank you. Because I have used some images from your side also, then some from Ton's side, because practically they have collected every material in the world on fossils.
Yes.
Indian special covers may not be present. Many Indians also, they may not be knowing, but he has got all this thing and he has scanned and put for everyone. That is a very important thing.
Can I take the program further?
Yeah.
Sir, thank you so much, especially for highlighting the threats to fossils. I enjoyed that part the most. Your lecture about the fusion of paleontology, natural history, and philately not only showcases the diversity of human interest, but it also got knowledge from different branches to us. So thank you for that, sir. And thank you everyone for your enthusiasm and dedication for learning. Tomorrow, we have a lecture by Dr. Abhay Mudholkar from Goa on volcanoes. I would like to request all participants to use the same link for all sessions of Earth Science Week. All sessions can also be viewed on Mission Devrai YouTube channel.